How is everybody? My name is Jim, and I want to tell you a little story about when I was a young man. I don't have much money now, but I especially didn't have much money when I was young. But I loved to, when I did get a little bit of money, I loved to play with it. And I would sometimes just play all kind of games with it. And I haven't really got over that yet. I still like to play games with my money. And I've got about 4 quarters here that I'm going to use, but my mother warned me never to play with my money and cards at the same time. And I really didn't know why not, but I began to learn that lesson over and over again, because I learned sometimes that with cards, the games that you play with money is a game of chance. And I said, well, just like most young men, I said, I'm going to try it and see. I'm going to see just what's going on with money and cards. So I took my hard-earned money and I placed it on the table with the cards. And I wagered one of those coins, and I placed it on the table and I wagered that coin, and sure enough, just like my mother said, when I looked, my coin had moved to the other fellow's pile. But I said, well, you know, I've got 2 more. Maybe I can win them all back. So I took another one of my coins and I wagered, and I said, hopefully now I'll get some of my money back. But what happened was this. I lost another one of my coins in the game. So I said, well, you know, I have 1 coin left. And I kissed it. I kissed it goodbye. That's what I was thinking. But at the same time, I said a little prayer, and I wagered that coin too. And I said, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go home tonight. But when I looked, sure enough, what had happened was, wait, my coins had all returned to where they belong. And I wound up with 4 quarters. But you know, me being hard-headed like I was, I didn't stop there. When I got a little more money, I still liked to play with my money. I still didn't have much money, but what I had I learned to use. But at the same time, I still liked to play with cards. And so when I took my cards and my money and I put them together, pretty soon I found out what my mother was talking about. Because I found out that it would turn me inside out and outside in. And I said, well, maybe I know now what my mother was talking about. But I still had not learned my lesson. I still continued to play with cards and money. And when I wrapped myself up in that money, I found out that it, sure enough, turned me inside out. It turned me this way, but most of all, it turned me that way.
Oh.
Both directions. And so I said, well, I've got to go back home and talk to my mother and see what it is that I can do to prevent this from happening again. And when I went home, she told me, she said, I warned you about playing with money. I warned you about that. But, you know, we don't listen when we're young. So I tried it one more time. I took my money, I wrapped it around myself, and I become so engrossed that once again, it turned me inside out and outside in. So I made a compromise. I said, well, maybe I can make this happen and stop it right in the middle. And maybe I can hold it that way. But I found out that when I did it that way, it turned me this way. And it turned me that way. And finally, it tore me apart. Just like that. And I found out exactly what my mother was talking about. I also like to give my money character names. And my favorite TV show during that time was Star Trek. Anybody a Star Trek fan? We got one here. How about help me out? Stand up for me right here. Got one over here? Star Trek fan? No. Anybody? You can do it sitting right where you are. Ilana.
Oh.
You're fine. You're fine right there. I like to give my money character names. Do you know the name of the captain of the Starship Enterprise?
Kirk.
Okay. Do you know his first name?
Captain.
James. There you go.
Tiberius Kirk.
Okay. Hey, you're great. You got the middle name too. Put James' first initial on one side of that quarter.
Getting good to
His
set
last,
quarters.
his last initial on the back.
All right.
Tiberius are right around the edge there. That's okay. I'm kidding. Thank you very much. Now, would you recognize Captain Kirk again if you saw it?
Yeah.
You would? Okay. Do you know who the arch enemy of Captain Kirk was?
It's
Klingons.
Klingon.
That's right. They flew their bird of prey and they captured Captain Kirk. They put him in the brig, just like that. Now, do you know, hang on to Captain Kirk. There was a, Starship Enterprise wasn't too far away. And we got to have you hold on to the Enterprise for me. Now, if you're a real Star Trek fan, you know the 4 words that always got James Kirk out of trouble. Do you know what those words were? There you go. Everybody, nobody fails to get that.
Live long and prosper.
And of course, somebody had to say energize. I don't know why that had to happen, but anyway, that had to happen. See if James Kirk was transported back to the Enterprise. No, he's not there. Is he in the Enterprise?
I don't know, I don't have a key.
Oh, you haven't been through security.
No.
Do we have a TSA agent here anywhere? Any volunteers? No, we're not going to go there.
Oh,
There's the key. You made it through security. Does that look like James Kirk to you?
Yes.
How about that?
all right.